So my clients usually get about, 15 to 20 positive replies per month. So they're happy. So I was just focused a lot on, okay, how can I at least do 3 sales calls every single day? So even after our call today, I have 3 sales calls after this.
What's going on, guys? Andre Hagel Jr. here, founder of Client Ascension, back with another student spotlight interview. And I'm here with Abby. Abby, you're actually the first female featured on this channel,
I
which is
figured.
crazy to me. Crazy. Long overdue. 1 out of 100, I believe.
Oh my God. That's
So,
awesome.
so congrats to you for going through the program. I don't know how you did it with a bunch of guys in Client Ascension that are a bunch of clowns, really, at the end of the day. So for you to just show them how it's done, especially in July, I think you broke the record for the amount of wins that you posted in the wins channel, and really put these guys in their place to see how it's done. And so for the audience, real quick, if you could just give a quick introduction as to who you are and what does your agency do?
Yeah, definitely. So I'm a Bigna. Most people in Client Ascension just call me Abby to make their life easy. And I'm in Arizona, and I specialize in generating interested replies on Upwork and LinkedIn for both the B2B and B2C companies. So depending on the type of industry that that client might be in, I decide the appropriate channel and strategy for their outreach.
That's amazing. And so how did you hear about Client Ascension? Like, was it through Twitter? Like, what was that journey like for you?
I'm not like anyone else in Client Ascension. I used
I know, for a lot of different reasons.
I actually worked for Dean Graziosi when I was in college. I was a social media manager. So we just obviously Russell Brunson, Tony Robbins, the whole project's KBB was happening. So you start to hear about some of the big guys in our community, right? So you guys were actually one of the ones that was always popping up conversationally. I think it was a year ago when one of my friends, Salma, she was in the UK, she was in Client Ascension, and she mentioned like, "Oh, I'm part of this amazing program." And I'm like, what's the name? And then I was like, it clicked for me. I was like, okay, I need to find a way to join like ASAP.
That's
Yeah, that's how
amazing.
I found you.
Salma was also one of the first females to come through the program, and I had
That's funny.
the honor of getting to meet her in London. Actually, we had an event in London last summer, and she was there, and
Gotcha.
she's awesome. And she ran a really cool agency where she was doing like mixology and like kits for parties and stuff like that. She crushed, and she was really fun to work with. So that's cool that that like connected. It was like you heard the name come up in the space a couple of times, and then from Salma as well. That's so cool. What was that like working for Dean? Like, did that build up? For sure, your skill sets that obviously you apply to what you do now, but did that also like open your eyes to the opportunities that are out there if you were to venture out on your own and to start your own agency?
Yeah, it did. I grew up in a business family. My dad's a business coach, actually. So business was always the thing I wanted to do. I just didn't really know what to try. So when I was working for Dean, I was mostly, in the Facebook groups, like, that kind of, I think everyone kind of started in Facebook social media. So that's where I started. And then when I started working on certain mini projects for Dean and with the marketing team, I got introduced to like the Dream 100. I got introduced to cold email marketing, affiliate marketing, SEO, paid ads, like basically the whole spectrum kind of shows up, right? So I was testing different things out and I was trying to make it, my own thing. And I tried all of them, Pinterest, everything. It just didn't click with my personality and what I was trying to do, like the goals I wanted. And then finally, Upwork and I actually Dream 100. I'm really good at helping businesses partner with others. I got good at that. And I got good at doing that using LinkedIn specifically. And now Upwork is something I got really good at too. So I'm kind of sticking to those right now.
It's so cool. Yeah. And I know we're reviewing some of your results. You signed over 20 clients on this new offer. You passed the $10,000 a month MRR milestone with your agency. And so things are really starting to click for you, which is amazing, especially given the fact that when you started out, you really weren't sure on what you wanted to do. You tried everything, which I think speaks to your success. It's like most people are not willing to try so many things until they find something that actually works. So how did Client Ascension specifically help you? Did you come into the program with the offer already set, or did Client Ascension help you come up with the offer? Like, where were you at when you joined? And kind of let's just do a quick breakdown of your journey through the program up to this point.
Yeah, I was already offering LinkedIn outreach and I was offering that to my clients and I was using Upwork to get the leads basically. But I couldn't scale it. Like I was stuck on what's the next step, what's supposed to happen next. I kind of wanted company and like, it's someone to tell me like, okay, am I going in the right way or not? I'm sick of like testing again and again and something falling apart. 10 years of tests, I'm done. So too many courses, everything. And obviously courses, like, they're good, but they obviously don't give you the full idea of what you're supposed to do. So you test it, then you freak out, you're like, what's going on? You buy more courses. So I'm like, okay, I'm done. Client Ascension, I just really love that there was a specialized coach for every piece in the business. Like, every faucet had like its own special coach. So I could go and be like, I am sucking at one problem I really had was when I get on a sales call, I'm thinking about the client from the position I was in their shoes. So like, I'm thinking, oh my God, this person's struggling. They need leads. I'm gonna be nice with them and give it for like a really low price and like make it all easy. And I'm like, you're never gonna grow if you gotta like structure things the right way. People will just step on you. Nothing's gonna ever move. And I needed someone to like kind of slap me, and I wanted to pay for someone to slap me. So people like David from sales, right? He's good at slapping. And then John is really great at that too. So we have amazing coaches, and I hope actually I can just stay on longer. My 6th month, I think, is this month or next month. I don't know. But I actually do want to stay on longer too, just to have that community and have someone, in the background watching over me.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. It's how the community was really built is with that in mind. Exactly what you're saying, Abby, is like having someone there to hold you accountable and also to help investigate and audit like the result of you doing something, because you doing the thing is just the first part of it. Like, oh, you sent the cold email, but why didn't you get the result? Or are the results that you got good or in line with KPIs and expectations? That's what's really important, because in business, especially as like a solopreneur and running an agency on your own, it's like
yeah,
your time is so limited. And so what you need to focus on as a business owner is, how do you invest your time? Because if you're investing your time on courses or implementing something you learned in a course that's just not moving the ball at all, like, you could set yourself so far behind. And to your point, you're doing that for years. I was doing that as well for years until I started to find the right levers to pull that could actually grow the business and get me in a place where I can start investing in team members to further grow the business. And it just spirals on from there. And so I
Mhm.
guess like one of the things I always love to ask is like, what was that moment in time you realized you needed to join a program like Client Ascension? Because a lot of people know of our program, even still watching this, and they're
Right.
just not, they haven't pulled the trigger yet. And they're kind of waiting for the perfect, quote unquote, the perfect opportunity to do that. Like,
Mhm.
what was that perfect opportunity for you? Like, how did you know it was the right time to finally get in?
Yeah, Upwork was going really well for like 45 to 60 days, and then suddenly it just died. And obviously, it's in certain seasons, it kind of dies out because people go on vacation, whatever it might be. But it slowed down to the point I was like, oh my God, I'm gonna like rack up debt from like other tools and things if I don't do something quick. And I was like, I need another lead gen source. And I was always really bad at cold email. And I wanted to join. I know a lot of people join Client Ascension for cold email. You guys are amazing at it. And I joined specifically to master that as an extra lead gen source, and for, mastering appointment setting specifically in cold outreach, because Upwork is borderline warm outreach, because some people invite you, and I get a lot of invites. Over, you saw that, 165 something invites in 90 days. I'm great at closing them because they kind of came to me. But when it comes to me going to someone, it's like awful. Like, I'm shaking. It's bad. You don't want to see it. And that's where I was like, okay, I need this. So
Yeah.
that's what it was.
That's
Yeah.
awesome. Well, and again, congrats to you for making that decision for yourself, because most people, when they're faced with like struggles in business, they usually just opt out, or they get complacent and they sit there hoping that things are going to fix themselves or resolve on their own. But like, that's your business, it's your responsibility. Nobody's going to care as much about your business staying alive and thriving than you will. And so if you don't do something about it, like join a coaching program or go to a place where you can get answers or new solutions to cover for like existing lead gen strategies that are no longer working as well, like,
Yeah.
that's on you. It's all going to come down to you and what you're willing to do to, first off, save your business, but also then from there grow it. And so the fact that you took immediate action as soon as that channel started to die out, I think is a big part as to why you're now experiencing that next level of growth. And so you spoke about having access to like the different coaches. What about having access to one thing we do differently at Client Ascension that I'm a big fan of, and I've spent a lot of time myself like training these guys to do a good job, is assigning a student success coach for every single student in the program. Like, what has that experience been like, specifically working with Jod?
Honestly, if I talk about it, I'll get emotional about it because Jod is genuinely the best coach, hands down, I've ever like anyone that I personally asked for advice from. If I had to look at everyone, Jod is my favorite. He's like family, you know, you can be like a doctor almost. You know, you have that family doctor, you can be completely transparent about all the problems. He'll evaluate everything from a logical perspective, but also from your perspective, like if your personality, what you're going to, he's not just like, just do it. Like obviously there's a reason why you're not able to do it. So like, let's break down you know, and he's so amazing at that. And being able to, you know, not just give me a generic solution like you would find on like a YouTube video or a course has been like the thing that's really, you know, helped me transform myself. He didn't just transform my business, he helped a lot with my own mindset, personality, you know, all of that. So, you know, majority of thanks actually to him. He's amazing. So,
Yeah, shout out to Jod. He's actually over in Lebanon, which is really cool. We
yeah.
have some team members out there, but yeah, he does an awesome job. And that's the entire focus of that role, is to just really invest in the students and get to know the students and their specific problems that they're facing, and match those needs with what the program has to offer. Because the
Yeah.
program has, like you were saying, a coach for everything, a coach for sales, operations, cold email, LinkedIn, appointment setting, offer creation, VSLs, landing pages, like you name it, we have it. And that can be overwhelming, especially when your problem is
Yes.
so focused on a small portion of that. You need guidance on where to turn to and who to go to. And that's what the student success coaches are really good at doing,
Yeah,
do that one-on-one.
right. One thing, like I said, I was charging really low, and you saw that too. We were talking a few days back. He was like, Abby, why are you charging so low? Okay, you need to go to XYZ classes and get that fixed. You know, he's so personalized. You don't need every class. You need the right class at the right time, and that's what that
That's
coach.
it. That's
Yeah,
it. People get overwhelmed. They see 18 live coaching calls every single week. That never changes, right? Like those calls are there
yeah,
whether or not you are. And it's like you can't go to every single call. It wouldn't make sense to. So how do you know which calls to block out on your calendar? Because you have so many other responsibilities you got to take care of. And so to have
exactly.
that expert guidance to say, hey, go to this call this week. And not just go to this call, but ask this question or figure this one thing out using this coach's time. Like that's what it's all about. So that's awesome to
He
hear.
even gives like monthly homework, you know, when we like he audits and everything. He's like, Abby, here's like in this Canvas section, you got to finish this, and this. I'm like, that helps in knowing what I'm supposed to focus on this month. Cause I'm so ADHD. I might want to do something else. And he'll like put me back in track, you know.
Yeah, the
So
accountability piece
yeah.
is key as well, because you could get, out of hand with other projects and
Yeah.
distractions, things that come up. And so to have those reminders are probably annoying at times. Like, John, you asked me about that 2 days ago. Give me a chance to actually get it done
Yeah.
before you ask me again. But like that's there for your own benefit, and it
Exactly.
really pushes you to move a lot faster on certain things. So I love to hear that feedback. John is someone I've worked with really closely for over a year now, and we do weekly calls to review every student's situation individually. So there's a lot of quality control that's happening in the background there. But I guess I want to move over to milestones real quick. So again, we ran the wins competition in July, and Team Jod, meaning all of the students that Jod has collectively beat all the students that any other student success coach has. But that was big time thanks to you, because you posted in the wins channel, I think, a record amount in the month of July. And so what were some of those milestones, and what do you attribute the success you've been having to?
They're saying milestones of what led to that.
Yeah, like
Uh-huh.
where is all this success coming from?
Yeah, majority is definitely from Upwork. One thing Jod told me to do was focus on one outreach channel at a time, master it, then add another one, right? Others are spread too thin. So since Upwork was working, you know, really, really well at that time, he said, okay, master it. So that's what ended up creating a bunch of booked calls for me. So it booked over 55 calls
Wow.
in that. Yeah, so from that, it was amazing. And then I'm really good at generating interested replies, booked calls on LinkedIn for my clients. I was going to do it for myself too. I was spread too thin. So I was like, okay, I'll do Upwork for me, LinkedIn for my clients right now. And so my clients usually get about, you know, 15 to 20 positive replies per month. So they're happy. So I was just focused a lot on, okay, how can I at least do 3 sales calls every single day? So even after our call today, I have 3 sales calls after this.
Oh
So no
wow.
matter what, I want to get at least, that's the goal, 3 sales calls every single day. That was the milestone I was going for. So,
That's an amazing goal. And I mean, if you have 30 calls every day on calendar, you're bringing in probably a dozen or so clients every
mhm.
month. In the last month, you said you brought in how many clients
16 clients. So,
in one
yeah.
month? That's amazing. Congrats on that. And I know we've talked obviously like on the fulfillment side and operations and onboarding. And so again, the cool thing with the program is we're there to solve the next thing you then need to focus on because
Mhm.
there's no cap to like growth, right? Like our businesses collectively now between Let's Kid and Client Ascension and a few others are over 600,000 a month at this point, and new revenue levels bring in new problems and new
Right.
challenges and new skills that are required. And so having access to people that are there or who have been there or are currently going through it is invaluable. I always love to ask this question to students who are mega successful in a program like Client Ascension is what advice would you have to say another student, even on Team Jod, for instance, that's going through the program and they're just not seeing results? Like, what are some things that they might be able to do and implement to quickly turn that around?
I think first thing is, accepting feedback more. You're literally paying to be slapped. That's why we're all here. And I think sometimes we get so stubborn because we were by ourselves for so long that, we're scared to just add more to it or change something. Every time I fought against it, I just said, you're literally paying to be slapped, and I would modify it. So I think that's the number one thing. And then second is definitely consistency. It's hard to read stats or make edits to something if there aren't enough stats. So if you're not being consistent, you can't really see that. People make like they don't take long enough to see, okay, what's going wrong, So looking at that yourself and then going over it with the appropriate coaches as well, I think has been the major thing for me. And that's what I hope
That's
everyone else does. Yeah.
Yeah, that's great feedback. Just being consistent. And what you said, the first one is just being open to feedback and like actually listening to direction. It's funny how often someone comes into the program, we tell them to do something and they're like, why? Or no, I don't think that'll
Yeah,
work.
don't question it.
It's like,
Ask
what? You don't think
questions,
that'll
but
work?
don't
Why
question
did
it.
you, yeah, why'd you pay us for advice if you didn't think it's going to work? Or
Yeah,
who are you to say it's not going to work if everything you've tried up to this point brought you here, meaning you need
exactly.
our help? And I understand it's tough. Like you have to put your ego to the side as a business owner. You have to understand that people have done exactly what you're setting out to do. And those are the exact people that you should listen to because they've done it and you haven't yet. And one thing that's always encouraging to hear is if they can do it, so can you. But you have to put your ego to the
Right.
side to be able to listen to feedback and advice from other people that are a little bit further ahead than you are.
Mhm.
And so that's what you're paying for. Like you said, you're paying for exactly that. So use it rather than, obviously have pushback on it. Abby, this has been awesome. Your success again is really lighting up the community. I mean that. It's just bringing such great vibes to the Wins channel and to Jod's team as well. Obviously, winning that competition in July got you guys a free coaching call with me that we did last week, which
That
was a
was
ton of
awesome.
fun, which was like more personalized Q&A with me on where you're all at with your businesses and in like a smaller group setting. But anyways, I want to end the interview just by saying thank you and also by asking you to share with the audience where they can find you and follow you online because you have an offer that we're going to be signing up to pretty soon for ListKit to do some partnership offers. So tell the audience what's the offer.
Yeah. So socials wise, LinkedIn is the best place to get me. So LinkedIn at etc. And then ABHIJNADEREDDY. So just my full name. And then for my offer, I'm offering right now LinkedIn outreach, but I'm also offering Upwork. I just opened that up last week. There's already 5 new clients who are getting it from me. They're excited. The whole purpose of it is to increase your algorithm on Upwork so you can get more relevant invites because invites is where the conversions are. So that's exactly what I'm focused on for my clients. And that's what I'll do.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much, Abby, for the time. Again, congrats on all of your success. And I can't wait to follow along as you continue to crush it and reach new revenue levels. Thanks for your time.
Appreciate it, Andre. Thank you.
Thank you.